Hey, welcome to Chewing the Fat, folks. This is a special session, a little impromptu, chewing the fat. You know what we do. We talk about everything and nothing, but today we're popping on off our scheduled day to cover the hot topic of Minnesota and immigration and all that stuff and what we think about it, what's going on, and what we think is going to happen moving forward. So we're going to chew on this topic. And I was just before we just went live. We got the normal co-host, DT.
Hello, everybody.
Gregory.
Yo.
And right before we went live, I made a good joke, a funny, like that. Just they're protesting ICE on any way you can, both ICE immigration and ICE literal frozen water ICE. So, we're getting, that's why the title ICE USA or United States. So we'll start with showing, there was two fatally shot protesters, agitators, whatever you want to label them. So the first one was Renee Good, and I thought we showed it in a previous episode, but just for just the sake of the show, so everybody's on the same page, we're going to share this. We're going to show this video here. And this is from the first one.
ABC News obtaining video today showing the moments leading up to and during the deadly shooting in Minneapolis involving federal agents. Behind the driver's seat of the maroon SUV, you see Renee Good. The video is believed to be taken by the ICE agent who fired the shots. Officers telling Good to get out of the car. She backs up, then forward, and shots are fired. The Department of Homeland Security says the ICE agent who fired the shots was hit by the car. Good was killed. In a statement to NPR News, her wife Becca Good saying, "On Wednesday, January 7th, we stopped to support our neighbors. We had whistles, they had guns." The mayor today responding to those who say his city is dangerous.
We've only had 2 shootings. One of them has been ICE. We are a safe city. ICE is making it less so.
Minnesota's Bureau of Criminal Apprehension says it has been cut off from the investigation into the shooting, leaving the FBI solely in charge of the case.
Our goal must be to ensure that a thorough investigation is completed at the local level so that our community can have transparency.
Law enforcement officials tell ABC News the agent involved is Jonathan Ross, a 10-year veteran of ICE's Special Response Team. Vice President J.D. Vance saying on Thursday that the agent has absolute immunity.
I can say that the ICE officer does not have complete immunity here.
And here in Minnesota, the governor called for a day of calm and unity. And in that statement today, Renee Good's wife said she is pure love, pure joy, and pure sunshine. Armando Garcia, ABC News, Minneapolis.
So that's the first one. Oop. So that's the first one we heard, that he was, she drove towards him. There's not a lot on the video. And like I think we talked about, if somebody is trying to do great bodily harm to you or another, you are legally allowed to use deadly force. So did we see that in that photo, that little video? We don't know. We talked about it before. The officer could have, stepped out of the way, not put himself in that way in the first place. But then she should have, followed orders. That's a weird. What do you guys think? About there's a weird, or not even weird. It's just a total disregard for following any kind of law enforcement commands. Like I've dealt with police enough, even like if you're not guilty, comply, and then you can sue. Like if you get beat up and you're not guilty, you comply, and then you get a good lawyer is like, oh yeah, I'll take that case pro bono, and just you give me a cut, like
100%.
But what do you think this whole disregard for law enforcement comes from? You think it's politician influencers rhetoric? Do you think it's a shift in just us as a people? Let's start with Dave. What do you think?
I mean, it's a I can't really say like exactly. You're not really. We're not really going to pinpoint it. Everyone's going to have some type of influence, and they're going to have some type of opinion, and theirs is more right, and you're more wrong. There is no coming together. There's in this, and this policy has been something that has not been acted on in a type of way of America first since Trump's inauguration. So if you're here illegally, you're doing something illegal. We all know what comes from that. So you're doing something, you're getting involved, and you're not even supposed to be. You're not the person that they're there for, and you put yourself in that situation into harm's way, regardless if you're in a vehicle or on the scene. Like I can't really say. I wasn't really there. The video that they showed from that, what I seen, is it over the top from this agent? He was trying to do his job. You're in the way. You're not complying. And he felt what he was necessary to handle this case. Was he right? Was he wrong? There's a process in place for people who are in law enforcement after the fact when they make decisions like that. So I'm not for or against.
There's not enough information either way for me to make.
It's a little too soon for me to
judgment,
even say anything like that. So as far as what that was, it's like I said, you don't just run up on a scene and put yourself in there. You could protest. They let you do that from a side. You can watch a lawful arrest. You can watch what they're doing.
Yeah.
But like to stop them, put your hands on them.
Yeah.
Get in their way, and you're expecting your freedoms not to be taken from you. I mean, I don't know.
All right, Greg, what do you think?
Well, the part where they put themselves there in the situation as if to understand they're untouchable.
Are you talking about the law enforcement or the people?
The people.
Yeah.
The people, like, I'm gonna support my local community, right? So I'm gonna support them, and this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna yell, I'm gonna point my phone, I'm gonna get in their face, I'm gonna do these things, and then you expect no recourse at all. None. Just I'm here doing this, so you leave me alone. I can do this. Yeah, you can. There are ways you're allowed to do that. There are ways to protest without getting in between or even close.
Impeding, yeah.
Yeah, impeding. So once they start doing that, but that you asked, what do you think about this change in paradigm of I can do whatever I want, and you, the law enforcement, can't touch me. And I can aggravate and agitate, and that's okay because I'm allowed this right. And
I'm
you
protesting.
You are allowed freedom of speech. You are allowed the
Freedom
right to assembly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are those are within the Bill of Rights, the first 10 commandments. Amendments. Yeah. So the issue where these people just start like doing yelling and screaming at them, like that's not peaceful. Yelling and obscenities and name calling and all that is not peaceful. And I'm going to say too, I don't think anybody deserves death. I don't think that's the answer. No. Right. And also like,
there's something
just don't put yourself in that situation.
You should. Yeah.
Eliminate the possibilities. I say this a lot with how do you stay safe? Safety simply is eliminating possibilities. That's what safety is.
So we'll go to the next one.
Yeah.
And, but there is something MLK said about fighting. You can't fight evil with more evil. So it's like
evil begets evil.
Yeah.
It's biblical.
All right. This is about the most recent one, the ICU nurse. This is his it's 2 minutes.
Fallout over the latest deadly shooting by federal agents in Minneapolis. This is video of the incident that appears to contradict government statements. NBC's Alice Barr explains what we know this morning.
This morning, a growing outcry over the shooting death of 37-year-old Alex Preddy by federal law enforcement in Minneapolis, the city's second involving federal law enforcement this month. As protesters react to the multiple videos capturing the scene, the Trump administration is defending the officers. The Department of Homeland Security posting that Preddy, quote, approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun.
When they tried to get him to disengage, he became aggressive and resisted them throughout that process. These officers used their training, followed their protocols, and were in fear of their lives.
The videos, shot from various angles, show federal agents shoving someone before Preddy steps in. Preddy is then pepper sprayed in the face by an officer while holding his phone and is then wrestled to the ground. DHS said he brandished a weapon, but the videos don't appear to show that. This one does show an agent appearing to remove a gun from Preddy's back waistband seconds before the shots are fired. Local officials say Preddy had a permit to carry, and groups like the Gun Owners of America are defending his right to bear arms while protesting as top Trump officials push back.
You cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple.
Preddy was an ICU nurse for a Minneapolis VA hospital, his parents calling him kind-hearted and deeply caring.
He loved this country, but he hated what people were doing to it.
President Trump overnight calling it a dangerous situation for everyone, demanded state and local officials cooperate with the administration's deportation efforts as those officials call on ICE to leave the state. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC.
All right. Let me find one. Boop. All right. So let's start with Gregory on this one. What do you think? The video was a little choppy there, but I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah, so
online as well.
In the video, yeah, he is not a threat at the moment. Moments after, many moments before getting shot, there was no reason. There is no way to make that the answer to what he was doing.
Well, during the tussle, I saw, and this is another legitimate reason to use. He went in and he scraped his arm all on that guy's waist, the officer's waist. So there's a taser on there. There's his pistol if he doesn't have it already drawn. So he could, he could have gone for any of those items. Or he could be going for any, the videos too. We're not there. We don't know what's yelling and what he's saying while he's getting pepper sprayed in the face. But like you said, he approached he could have grabbed the woman and walked the opposite way.
Yeah, he could have done those that eliminate the possibility again, starting from, did he plan to go to a protest?
Well, that's
if
thing.
That's the case, then in if world, I don't like if worlds that much, but in this case, I think it's warranted in the way of if he was on the way to the protest, you don't bring your guns.
Yeah, leave it in the car.
That's a bad plan. That's a possibility that you're opening widely to.
You're bringing that to
something. Yeah,
that's what we're taught. I work security, and we're taught, like, whenever you're going into a situation, you're bringing with you what you have. So don't eliminate it because it can be brought into the fray. Somebody could try to take it off of you. You may need to use it. Like you're bringing that.
I want to bring this up is his hands are visible without things in it.
Yeah.
Prior to getting shot. So what are they shooting him for? What is the threat? So many, and my wife included, she just that was an execution.
Yeah.
Shoot somebody with their back turned and they're not a threat. Like, what could he do at that moment? Or even a few moments prior, you said he rubbed or whatever. Okay, so they can see he did not get anything off of me. Great. It is split decisions, but my thought is that and this is speculation for sure, but that guy was like, I'm tired of this, that, and the other thing, and I'm gonna that seems a little premeditated in the way of your attitude going into it. The one that shot him.
Well, I heard, and I could look up.
That's just my take on it.
Yeah. Let's go to DT. DT, your take.
I mean, yeah, you don't. Do you walk and brandish a firearm at a peaceful protest to prove a point or opinion? I mean, Kyle Rittenhouse, if he wasn't having a firearm on him during a protest that went a certain kind of different way, we wouldn't be saying hero. So, I mean, again, these are the iffy, and you could say in the world of what ifs, and there's a lot in this one because it's a touchy subject. Yeah, and so they're gonna, if you want to say that, that's fine. But more has come out about him. He was at another protest prior to this one, and he was actually had to go to the hospital for broken ribs. For getting involved. So they know about him. He has a past with them. He puts himself in these situations time and time again to be a recognized character by people of law enforcement or law enforcement like, and you're expecting to get, looked over as a peaceful person. I wasn't there in the videos that they're showing and how the story is being told to us.
Quality.
Right now, hard to make any kind of decision on it and what's right and what's wrong. But, we just, me personally, I'm just going to say, you walk into a protest with a firearm on you and, something does go haywire. Maybe Kyle Rittenhouse happens to you, and we're lucky that he was there. Or you do something on the opposite side and you do something like this. And I don't know, I can't really tell you which one's better and which one's worse. I don't think you should be operating with a firearm at a protest.
No, I don't. I mean, I think it goes back to, you do have you just because you can doesn't mean you should. And exactly. He had all legal right to have the firearm according to, what's online, but doesn't mean you bring it with you, especially to something like that. And I wanted to talk because these people are protesting these immigration, people being deported or detained and then deported, that like the process for, like, I don't think it's here on the website of the Citizenship and Immigration Service, the ICE. I got to share it now. So you come here legally. Let's just say you come here legally. You get the visa, you do all that stuff, work visa, school visa, and it expires. So once it expired, you are now unlawfully present in the United States. So at first, the stories, they were going after criminals, which we have another one about criminals that were, violent criminals. But yeah, the lawful presence. So if these people, he's not a criminal, but he's still there, he or she, them, they're here unlawfully because there's, X, Y, and Z you have to do to renew your visa or this or that. And then they don't. And then they stay here for years and so on and so forth. So I think a lot of people don't understand that. Oh, well, he's not a criminal. Well, he's not a criminal in a criminal sense. He's a criminal in a civil sense because the U.S., the Citizenship and Immigration, or the ICE, which is part of DHS. He's here illegally. He's got to go back and reapply and do all that stuff. But that's just some information that I don't think a lot of people know, that being here after your documents expire is a reason for detainment. You know, they're not just a crime, but if you hop the border illegally, then that whole process is done. You're here illegally. You're, out you go. And but let's see, it's a long comment here. The same guy who oversees the current ICE agents under Trump was given the Medal of Honor, a medal under Obama. So why all the media coverage around ICE today and not the previous administration? Obama deported just as many immigrants as Trump has in the first year. Well, I think we know why, because the media is bought, owned, run by Pinkos, which that's from Fallout. Pinko is a left-leaning, like, liberal person. I thought that was a great name for him, Pinko. But
yeah,
and if you haven't seen the show, it's a very good show. Walton Goggin, can't go wrong. But that's another thing is, they said he's a border patrol agent, and I worked with a border patrol agent, and a lot of times their teams are 1 and like 2 people, 3, and then they're working the border, so they can come along a group or catch a bunch of people crossing the border. So it's 2 officers and, like, say 15 people. So the reason that they are pushing and shoving, because out there, I'm gonna ask you, and if you don't do it, I'm going to make you. Because if one person mouths off and you don't do anything, then you have 2 mouth off, 3 mouth off, and the next thing you know, it's 15 against 2. And that's why they're
outnumbered.
They're outnumbered, and they're so they're so direct. They're so forward acting, is because they have to nip it in the bud out on border patrol. But I guess they're shorthanded, so they're pulling people from the border to help out with crises here. I don't know how the moving and shaking works, but I know that they have a less wiggle room when you're mouthing off. Like, you mouth off, I'm going to tell you to get on the ground. You don't want to get on the ground, I'm going to put you on the ground. And
that's the same thing I was talking about with eliminating possibilities. It's their safety at stake. So eliminate the possibilities.
Yeah.
Again, safety is eliminating possibilities. So we don't allow a possibility, not even a little one. It's, now directed.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, it's tragic that it's come to, fatalities, shootings. I don't think it should be that way, but that's, like, it goes back to the first question, is there's just this disregard, this I can do whatever to law enforcement and they can't touch me kind of mentality. And I don't know, I can't even think of the origin. Where is it coming from? It's cliche to say it's politicians' rhetoric, but it is. It's not just politics. It's celebrities. It's, politicians, influencers. Like, I was brought up, you want to, it's a good way to get your teeth knocked out. Oh, let me fight a cop. Yeah, I'm not going to win that. Isn't there a Clash song? I fought the law and the law won. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Like, it never turns out good for you, ever.
I think maybe the defunding the police, maybe that is a spot.
The whole campaign, yeah.
That could be somewhere. I think another way is that there's so many, now everyone has a camera device that can be uploaded immediately, that can go live, in fact. So they feel protected by the way of
you're being put on blast.
If you do something, I got it on tape, and you're gonna get in trouble. Yeah, you're
Right.
going to be the one facing the music. So there's this misunderstanding of what that power is. Yeah, it's good to have your own camera. They have body cams. And then you have a lot of dishonest and dirty, cops.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you have them being, and then cover-ups. Like, oh, well, it
Well, you
didn't
have the-
record, or we lost the data,
That's
when
another-
then
yeah.
another video from outside the building catches
Everything.
not what you said. He was coming at me with a weapon, and then the video comes out later. You shot him in the back as he was running away.
Yeah.
Yes, you caught an assailant breaking into a building, but your story, your official report was he came at you, and then when the real footage comes out, because they lost the body cam, it comes out to be a lie. And so that's happened a bunch over and over again. So then you get the idea of, well, the cops are dirty and corrupt and lying. So, and because I have video evidence, I can not have to listen. I think that's got to be some of it. What's this say? I think it's starting.
Started in the home.
Oh, that's true too. If you don't honor your heavenly Father, you'll never honor your earthly father. So no one sees authority as demanding. Yeah, there is a bit of that too. Like, and I think that's Steph, my wife. We've talked about it. Well, that's another situation of children raising children.
True.
You're not even raised yet, and you're going to bring somebody into the society and workforce.
You're highly influenced or influenced or swayed one way or another. Yeah, it's gonna roll, shit rolls downhill.
Your influence is a parent that isn't quite mature yet. Telling you, well, don't listen to screw that boss or whatever, they don't know what they're talking about.
That and I just had it. I lost it. I heard as more things come out about the incidents in Minnesota there, that these victims their past is coming up, and it's not so heroic or great like the guy what is his name? Petty?
Alex Petrie.
Alex Petrie, that he had, like you said, Dave, he had altercations a week before with law enforcement. There's the Renee Good, that she has a criminal past, that they're not these model citizens as the media paints them to be. And that's what, like we had tons of people when Charlie Kirk got assassinated. We had tons of people, oh, don't believe the official narrative. Don't believe the official narrative. And here we are a couple months later, and those same people are like, yep, that's what's happened. It's official. Don't look any deeper. It's good.
Right.
It's like, and the worst part, it's like doublethink. George Orwell's doublethink is that they're believing two contradictory ideas simultaneously, and they don't know it. Like,
they're not even aware of their own conscious.
Maybe part of this comes from Chewing the Fat podcast show viewer.
Sorry. Chewing the Fat viewers. I don't know whether it's some kind of gibberish name too.
Maybe the reason why they think that they have this empowerment at these protests probably might stem from the fact that they feel that ICE is there illegally. Regardless of what Trump enacted, there's a side of the aisle here that believes that what he's doing is not like lawful.
Yeah,
there's a whole side of that. So maybe this is what that is to kind of open up everyone's eyes on this, is that I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe that's a speculative
It's
statement. And
well, I guess there is a very, I mean, it's cliche. It is very divisive here. Like there was that one guy, I didn't even know his name. He came out of nowhere, and he's the one that was telling people, the military, to don't follow unlawful orders. Like,
oh yeah,
Oh, that's right.
so it's like it is the rhetoric. Like you're telling them don't follow the laws. Like it's the weirdest. It's a weird time, man. Like
Um,
not good.
Steph and I were talking about it earlier, and the ICE agents have way too much liberties. They have way too much freedoms, and they are not being checked. Is my understanding. They can search and siege without a warrant.
In public places, not private residence. They have to have
Okay,
like
so-
court, like they can go to somebody's work and scoop somebody up. They don't need a warrant for that.
They can bust into the workplace and
Swarm the. From that we had
there's
it.
so many different times when these are legal citizens. These two, in case,
they were American,
Green and-
legal American citizens.
Green and Preddy are both legal citizens that were killed by ICE agents, and they're not supposed to be getting rid of legal citizens. They're supposed to be, doing something else, so they don't need a judge to sign off on a search warrant.
Yeah. It's
So
got
they can
like their
create
commander
their
or
own
something.
warrant.
Yeah, it's it's got to go up the
Maybe
chain.
so.
It's not like Joe Smith, the private, I don't know, just a regular officer out there can write his warrant. Yeah, I'm going to do this. No, it's got like go up to command staff and stuff like that, or command staff send it down and say, "Here's your warrant. Go to this address."
And not a judge.
Yeah, not a judge. This is speculation. I'm just guessing it would be a commanding officer. Either
It'd be somebody at
somebody
the
with
office.
brass. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody with an officer rank of some sort or whatever, a commander. And that's what we were saying is that's a lot of extra freedoms as an officer that then lend to like it. Oh, the other thing is they're always covered. Their faces are already always covered.
Well,
you
that
don't
was
know
for
who
their
it really
safety.
is. They're unidentifiable.
Well, they used to have their face exposed, and then they found their place and doxed them and went to their home and threatened their families.
And that's us, legal citizens, doing that to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
turns
Ted Kaczynski.
up.
You know who he is, a Unabomber, his manifesto.
Yeah.
He wrote it in the 90s, and then there's an expert, I wish I could excerpt, that he's like, there's going to be a time, it was happening then, that you have a whole group of people protesting, advocating for rights to a group that they don't belong to. Like I wish I could find that paragraph, because he wrote it in like sections. There's a tweet. Somebody sent a tweet that it's all what does this say? Oh, first she said,
just like a risk.
That's the risk that they take becoming ICE agents, just like the risk of taking guns to protest. Yeah, but for that comment, the risk they take being ICE agents, I didn't sign up to have my family attacked. That's not part of the deal. I signed up the risk being an ICE agent that I'm going to get beat up, that I may get shot, but not my wife and my children.
Right.
They're off the table.
Yeah, they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't
That shouldn't be what it is.
You want, if I'm out there, my boots are on the ground. You take it with me, but you harass me when I'm at the grocery store. You don't harass my family.
Right.
Which is funny because the people harassing ICE agent families go home to their family. Like it's just we've been conditioned lately to just move straight to hate. Just there's no just visceral feelings, and that's all that matters. There's no taking a step back. Let's look at the facts. What transpired? Is there even enough information or enough video footage for me to make an assessment on what transpired? It's a crazy time.
I mean,
go ahead.
if just speaking in terms of immigration in a whole, if you did come here illegally, you went to your local office, you tried to do the things to get yourself into a position for your family, to bring your family, to do these things. And there's a process or a waiting period, who knows? And let's just say one of these subjects is like that. And they were told, you have to wait like about 8 months before we can register you because you came over the border. So there's a time lapse, blah, blah, blah. But they have residency, they have a job, they have things that kind of like, makes them look like, an upstanding citizen a little bit. They're doing their part, they're trying. I don't see how this process goes to a point where we're pulling people regardless of a warrant, regardless of no judge, regardless of any of that. Let's just say they do have a judge. Let's just say it was completely different. My point still being, when it gets to this and you're taking like a person out of their home, and they tried to do the right thing, and you're doing this, first it's criminals. First, we're going to get a bunch of those bad people off the list and off the streets. And then it gets to something where it's just, now we're just handpicking almost.
Yeah.
And you hear Tim, the governor, say, he's like, we're not safe, or we are safe as a state. The two gun,
the mayor, the two shootings were
where one of them were ICE, and that's what he had said. So, I mean, I don't know. Immigration definitely, from an ICE standpoint, I guess, needs to be.
There definitely some reform, some changes. Like for the guy that you just described, that could be some, a suit goes and visit. Listen, you got to go. Like, you got 24 hours. We're heading out. And then if say he like runs, then he gets the flak vets and boots. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But there should be a more streamlined way that legitimate, bettering their lives immigrants can get here.
There's still so many unknowns in this too. And I haven't done any research on this, but what if some of these states that have ICE in them, that they were there before, had reported in previous years that their criminal rate has gone up from illegals being in their cities, and the government has done nothing because they don't have the funding as a state to do anything. And let's just say it got to this point where it's like, well, they're just sitting around, they're not doing anything. And this reform came in of like, okay, well, we're going to clean the slate. And this is like the first iteration of their idea here.
Yeah. Stephanie said, what about the 17-year-old taken from the target by ICE agents? I did not hear about that. I don't have a comment. He's a unaccompanied minor, so I would hope that if he was an unaccompanied minor, that they took him somewhere safe.
I think he was an employee.
And then that goes back to the unlawful presence.
And they from what we were talking about earlier, and I think maybe he or they were they were beaten, they were taken, beaten, and then
He was a
realized,
worker.
yeah, he was a worker there. They were beaten. Then they realized, oops, like not an illegal. Dropped him off at like a Walmart.
Oh, so they scooped him up, realized that he's not one that they wanted, and then just dropped him off somewhere
Yeah, but
else.
after beating him.
After beating him.
Yeah, accosting him.
Wow. I did not hear.
I think that's
that. And then that's like you said, you have bad players in every,
yeah.
Do you remember that it
Every
was on
establishment.
Netflix? It was on Netflix about took place in Cleveland where like a car backfired and like a guy, like a police officer hopped on the hood of the car and filed, emptied a magazine into the windshield. Like there's bad people in every job, like there are, I would hope to think that there is more good officers than there are bad ones, but there's those, it's the classic, 20% cause 80% of the problem. So those, the old adage, a few taint the bunch or whatever. I can't even think about it.
Bad apples, yeah.
Yeah, bad apples taint
Ruin the
whole
bunch.
Yeah. I wanted to look at this because, like we said, what is, where we talk about conspiracy theories and stuff like that. Like, what do you think it is this unrest? Because we did just, what is his name? Jack Shirley, right? Nick Shirley did the fraud, the 9 million, hundreds of millions, I think at 9 billion. It was a huge number of fraud in Minnesota. And that's what online people are like, you think there's a coincidence that there's so much unrest in Minnesota? And they just had a bunch of fraud discovered. Like, you think there's any kind of correlation? So I found this little article here. I talked to Greg a little bit that the Senate Democrats float DHS changes in shutdown stalemate. Senate Democrats on Wednesday revealed the DHS restrictions they need in exchange for helping Republicans avert a shutdown Friday night. Wait, when is this posted? Is it? I passed it. All right, there it is. 128. Is that today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was.
So in a couple days, they're going to have a shutdown?
Unless they write into something about change rules of the Department of Homeland Security. Exchange helping, including tightening the rules on warrants. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer outlined the asks after a closed-door caucus meeting, telling reporters that Democrats were united around common sense and necessary policy goals. Which, that's weird for me. It's just weird because the policy goals, I don't know. Maybe I don't understand government, but it's a policy. So they don't have big board meetings to change policies at companies. It's a small group that says, okay, this is now the new policy. People in Department of Homeland Security, that what is it, Christy Noem and a couple others, okay, and then here we're going to change these policies. A, B, and C sign off on it, and here now it is in the new policy effective this date. What does Congress have to do with anything about making policies within the Department of Homeland Security? It should be people within the Department of Homeland Security that makes the policies for Department of Homeland Security. I'm just very confused. And now basically they're like, well, if you don't do this, we're going to shut down.
Right. Seems like a group of like-minded people coming together on a certain topic for reform or for certain policies, when enacted in its originality, tends to go a different way, this is when these other groups try to come together and do these closed door meetings and say, hey, what was initiated first off, what we thought was going to be the original plan of execution is actually not going the way we intended, and we need a turnaround here. So we need to do something before Friday, before the shutdown, before this gets out of hand, before things get any more worse, because it is worse. Let's one life gone from here is not what I guarantee they intended, especially an American life. So, if they don't do anything, this falls bad on both parties. This isn't just Republican or Democrat. You're talking coming together, making something that is, ideal, for the safety of the American public, and, getting back to, the standard. Where's the standard? Where's that bar that was set, that was in place? Everyone took a vow, according to an oath that they're going to stand on. And, if I'm not to say they're throwing it out the window here, but it's like, if the office of the president comes knocking and you're a part of this division that has to enforce, and he says kind of the words by any means necessary, I mean, you got it straight from the president.
Yeah.
So
the commander in chief.
Whether we feel it's right or wrong, he's doing that, and any president can do that. You're just going to do as you're told if you're in that kind of position.
Yeah, or you leave the position.
Exactly.
What was the last Oh, go ahead.
During a fraud found something involving some towers? ?
Ooh, interesting. Alleged, speculatory. It's all conversations. But yes, there was a tremendous amount of fraud found the day before a certain event in the early 2000s.
Right.
So, but there's a lot of fraud in Minnesota. I also thought of the UK and Minnesota because the UK instituted the digital ID because of the immigration crisis. So now maybe Minnesota will institute a digital ID because of the civil unrest. We need to get these people, as a politician, we need to make our cities safe again. And the protests keep going.
They need to be checked.
Going. Yeah. So we're going to have digital ID, and ICE agents will have to have it too. So we know who everybody is.
We buddy it with safety, and we make it look like
safety,
this is what it
for
is.
Your community safety, get on the digital ID. And then we know where, for your family's sake, they can know where you are,
And it's safe. So we'll eliminate the possibility of it happening again. It always comes back to that, damn it.
Do you have like do you have like a little card on your desk right there that just says that? So you like glance down and just, I'm going to read it again.
Read it again? No, it just keeps coming up.
I'm going to read that again.
It seems to just keep popping up.
Safety is the elimination of possibilities. That's my tearaway that's the quote for the day on this quote of the day calendar.
Yeah,
that'll definitely be one of our shorts.
And then, so here's the weather map, because we said it's an icy United States. So we handled the immigration ice. Now there's, people are upset about frozen water ice. And look at this.
Continental ice.
Yeah. Oh, it's not as big as I thought it would be, but here's some temperatures.
That's what she said.
Yes.
Oh.
So there's the...
Yes, not to you.
There's the weather maps. Very cold. Even down here in the Sunshine State. 37.
Hey, look at that.
Look at that. So how are you guys faring? How are you guys faring up there in the blizzard? Greg showed me a thing on his phone.
Right before
5 degrees.
Here. Let's see. Let me update it because I think, we gained a degree.
Ooh, yes. It's nice. It is currently, to rub it in your guys' face.
Yeah.
And you're wearing double layers, and I'm wearing a t-shirt.
Well, that's because you have a sweater on already. Uh, 43 degrees. Thanks for bringing it up. So is your driveway plowed and is it icy, plowed and salted, Greg?
No, it's not.
You're killing me, Smalls.
We were looking at snow throwers today, though. Like,
oh,
we did not pull the plug. We got a generator because, well, we should have one. And we talked about it offline, but it's better to have it, not need it than need it and not have it.
Like, like a firearm, except when you're going to a protest.
Yeah. Don't bring your generator to the protest. I'll have to write that down.
Yeah.
That'll be next week's cue card.
To the protest.
The protest.
That's funny.
That'll be next week's cue card.
Thank you, everybody. Stephanie, Samantha, for commenting.
Samantha.
I saw Elaine liked the show. Thank you. And
7. Wait. Put it up. Put yours up, Dave.
I just turned it down.
There we go. There it is.
7.
I got according to. Oh, haha.
He gets it now.
I was like, okay, just both weathers. Okay. It's 9, according to the Weather Channel, it's 9 degrees. 10 degrees in Cleveland. Feels like -7. Yeah. That's right. You had a fun little anecdote about the feels like. Why is it a different temperature?
Yeah, there's no reason for 2. It's degrees. If it's 7, it feels like 7. If it's, the wind chill, that's a different thing. As the wind blows, it's colder because that force got it. That's called wind chill, right?
Yeah.
Well, the feels like is ridiculous. If you're going to put feels like, give us a descriptor like feels like the Antarctic.
Yeah.
I can
give
get
us something
that. I can
imagine.
get behind that. I can then go, I don't want to go outside. That's freaking cold. If it's really hot and it's like, feels like Hawaii. Like I'm going outside. That's nice. I like Hawaii. I want to visit Hawaii and Cleveland.
There is a weather app that does that. It has like funny quotes on it that like, it feels like, it feels like a Florida bog in the middle of summer, like it says, and you can make it so it swears, it's not suitable for work. It's actually, I had it for a while. It was pretty good.
I remember this.
Yeah.
You would send me you would text me whatever it was saying.
Yeah.
It's hot as balls.
Yeah. It's what it would say.
WTF weather app. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That is a good.
Currently 97 degrees in Sarasota, Florida. It's hot as balls.
It was good.
Difference between real feel and wind chill. Wind chill measures how cold it feels outside when the wind is factored in with the actual air temperature, indicating the rate of heat loss from exposed skin due to wind. Real feel is a proprietary term used by some weather services that combines multiple factors, including temperature, humidity, wind speed, and solar radiation, to provide a more comprehensive feels like temperature.
Nice.
Made up.
Yeah.
News.
I don't believe it. It's made up. Real feel is for the losers.
For the liberals. The pinkos. Real feel is for pinkos.
Pinkos, yeah. Pinkos.
That's
this
awesome.
is a good term, Pinko. It's perfect.
Fun to say.
Yeah. You have pinkos, you have rhinos, you have winos. Sometimes they're all three.
You could be all three.
Like Nancy Pelosi. She's all three.
Yes. Got her.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, man. If she's watching, hopefully she had a laugh.
When do Pinkos play Plinko?
When do Pinko play
you can
Pinko?
win at Plinko.
On Thursdays.
Yeah.
Well, whenever they want, because they're playing on American tax dollars. All right, DT, some closing remarks.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Well, first and foremost, you're intended for your right to opinion. You're intended to your freedom of speech, and those freedoms are protected and enacted while you are being a lawful citizen. I want to put yourself in a situation where those can be taken away from you by any means necessary, regardless of if you feel like they're there doing a job that they shouldn't be doing or they should enforce or not enforce. You shouldn't be putting yourself in harm's way or overextending yourself to express opinion or whatever. I don't. I'm all for you standing up and believing for what you believe and going out there and walking and putting yourself in that light. I just don't want anybody to put themselves in a way where they're not going to wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So first on that, and secondly, is being cold. Bundle up, stay safe. Make it if you have to travel, put something together so that if your car does break down or if you're stuck, you do have some supplies. And stay warm. We got a couple more, like maybe a week or two of this before it starts turning around. So stay safe, stay warm, and God bless.
Gregory, closing remarks.
Yeah. So, safety first.
Safety is the eliminating of possibilities.
The elimination of possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that being said, you probably even as simple as a ranch hand, you don't stand behind the horse. Just don't get in that path. So that same for those law enforcement officers, there should be some training, and I'm sure there is. Don't get in front of the vehicle that's turned on.
Yeah.
Don't stand in front of
Don't put yourself in that position.
Don't just don't do it. So don't chance it. And I like what Dave said. So take an old blanket or a new blanket. It doesn't matter. Throw it in your car. Put it in there.
That's a good idea.
Break down and you can, immediately bundle up, wrap that blanket around you or your loved one's children. And loss is difficult. So whether that person acted, stupidly or did something in the heat of the moment, there are people that are here that have to deal with that. So prayers and blessings to them that they get through it and see the other side without more grief and loss. So
I agree.
Is it? And never, ever, please remember this. Don't take your generator to a protest. That's just bad plan.
It's, the exhaust. It can, choke out the crowd. It's very loud.
And people are fighting over who gets to charge their cell phone. You just caused an issue.
Not eliminating of possibilities. It's adding possibilities.
You're multiplying.
Then the fumes.
Yeah, fumes. Yeah, the fumes.
People are high on exhaust fumes. Nobody acts right on, and that happens.
Yeah. Right. My closing remarks are for you guys: stay warm, and just be smart. Everybody, law enforcement, citizens, just be smart. Don't put yourself in the front of the car. Don't bring your firearm to a protest, even though you're legally allowed to. And, like I said, comply now, sue later. If you're completely innocent and they beat the crap out of you, you get a good lawyer and you get a lot of money from the city. There's tons of case law precedent for it. So just comply now, sue later.
Record and report.
Yep, record and report. I also wanted to say, because I haven't mentioned them on a couple shows, I have like an affiliate. It's Dubby Energy Drink. If you use the promo code CHEWING, you get 10% off. And I figured I haven't been doing that lately. This Saturday is going to be the World Economic Forum, WEF, more like WTF. We're going to go into history of that. Who the global youth leaders? You'll be surprised who's in there. It's going to be a fun show. So if you're liking the content, yeah, very educational, because a lot of people don't know about it, or they only know it's a conspiracy theory. Or
Samantha Farley, don't play stupid games. You won't win stupid prizes. Like it.
Very true.
Yes.
Very true. Sometimes when you FO or it's FA, UFO. I mean, it's two sides of the same coin. But yep, next week's gonna be a good show, very educational, because people have no idea what it is, and it's like been around since the 70s, and they are not elected officials. It's like just a group of rich people that got together. I think they're still in Davos, and it's gonna be a good show. And prayers for everybody involved, prayers for Minneapolis and Minnesota that we can de-escalate and still do what's right, but also de-escalate. It's always easier.
And I was just thinking with the coin thing, the FAFO, or you win stupid prizes, same side of the same coin. Well, when you flip that coin, you're gambling with your life. So it's not worth it.
So don't even flip the coin. It's eliminating possibilities is safety.
Is safety.
Yeah.
Number one.
All right, gentlemen.
Patent pending, by the way.
Yep, patent pending. Copyright. Oh, man. All right, gentlemen. Have a good night and God bless. Catch you on the next one.
Well, then you won't, then you rant, and I'll go. I'm going to say it to you. These three little words, and they mean that we are through.